Well, how'd it do and how are you? It's good to see you one more time. Come on in, get comfortable. Welcome back to Am I the Asshole Music Stories. You know, where we take the Am I the Asshole stories, but the music side of things, and we break it down in a way that you can use it for your career. Before we get into it, you should know that I do this for the overlooked, the underbooked, and the overprepared. You are not solo in this. You're just meticulous. Am I the asshole for cutting off a client without delivering the final files after they disrespected my time, my work, and my integrity?
Ooh, we got a juicy one here. Oh, this juicy. This so juicy.
Yeah, so I've been here before. I've done a lot of client work. And when somebody disrespects you, it's hard to not play, I'm not gonna say God. It's hard to not remind them that, hey, you being an asshole to the wrong person. You kind of got all your shit. Let's see where this goes. I'm a videographer and an audio engineer. What up, my G? I'm in the same boat. Continue. I work with a lot of up-and-coming artists, many of whom don't have big budgets, and that's never been a problem. I've always believed in building people up if the vision is right and the effort is real. I have a feeling I know where you're going with this. So yeah, I am a videographer and an audio engineer by trade. Y'all know I rap first, but I got into all these other little line of works because I couldn't really afford studio session. I couldn't afford music videos, and I couldn't afford a graphic designer. So I decided to learn all that stuff on my own. Consequently, that became a service I could provide to other people. Now, I also like working with up-and-coming artists. This story sounds very familiar so far. The reason being is because I also like to give a little bit of advice as they're on their way up or as they're doing certain things. I like to give a little like, hey, what if you try doing it like this? Ooh, you might want to do this instead, because I wish somebody had done that for me. And that's literally the only reason why I decided to hand out my services like that. That was not the case this time. Two guys approached me about a female rapper they were developing. She wasn't really an artist. She didn't write her own lyrics. You better than me, I probably would have said nah. I probably would have said no, unless the writers were somebody I respected, somebody I knew could deliver some real good stuff. It's hard for me to really get with somebody who don't write their own lyrics. In the space of hip hop, if you starting to be a rapper and you're not writing your own lyrics, get out. Get out of it. I get it. We're trying to change the narrative around that, but that's not what this genre is about. That's not what hip hop is about. It's about voicing what's inside of you. If you ain't got it inside of you, well then let somebody else paint that story for you and you just listen. They wrote everything for her. One of them was also her husband. This story is, okay, continue. Told me straight up that the plan was to turn her into a Nicki Cardi Meg hybrid. So this is just about money. Oh. In your position, I know you, I hope you see this, but how did you justify that? Because if you're anything like me and it's just about the money, how deep did your involvement get? Were you just point and shooting? Were you just recording and you just delivered the stuff? Because you said you like to work with other up-and-coming artists, but this is not an artist. This is a puppet. Oh my God. Let's keep going. But really, it was just to give her something to do because, and I quote, she just lays around the house all day. I'm not the person that's gonna fix your marriage. And I don't think an industry like the entertainment industry is the place to try to fix your marriage and give your wife something to do. Was she with it? Like, did she really want to do this? This sounds like a complete waste of time. This sounds like they're about to disrespect all of your stuff because it's not from a place of I want to contribute. It's from a place of I want to take. Remember we talked about culture vultures a couple weeks back? This sounds like culture vulture activity. Red flag, right? But I gave it a shot anyway. Maybe it was just a weird intro. Maybe she had something. Bruh, you are a saint. You gave them the benefit of the doubt? Maybe she had something. You should have been like, nah, I think I'm gonna pass on this one. Especially if you're coming from an upstanding place where you're looking at the purity of things. Don't get twisted. You gotta get your money, because I'm sure they was paying. But we could find... All right, let me keep going. She didn't. Answer my question. She came into the sessions late, never memorized her verses, slurred half her takes, and treated the studio like a hookah lounge. Man, I have been here before. One of the rules I instituted in my studios was no smoking in the control area or in the booth area. Now, my studio, the control room and the booth was in the same room, much like it is now. But people got a little too comfortable because it was my home. Not for nothing, I did smoke at the time. So I would smoke, but I wouldn't smoke in the control room because I needed to be clear. At first, I allowed people to smoke in there, but it just started to give off the wrong atmosphere for me. Like, it was like, we're here to work. We're not here to lounge out. Don't get it twisted. Set your vibe, set your mood. But when it comes to the extracurriculars, do that outside. I don't want to be a part of that. But somehow, I still got usable takes. That's how I finessed the sessions. Good on you, my G. Now see, that sounds like somebody who's dedicated to their craft. They were in a space where they weren't the most comfortable. The artists clearly don't know what the hell they doing. The red flag was there. She's lazy. It shouldn't be a surprise that she didn't have her stuff memorized. It shouldn't be a surprise that she's treating the studio like a hookah lounge. It shouldn't be a surprise that sessions is going the way they're going. But you knew that. You equated for that, and you got takes that you can use. Bravo. Now mixing, worse. I normally work solo when mixing. I need the space to breathe through it. I am absolutely the same way. That's one of the services that I do still provide. I don't do in-person recording anymore. And back when I had in-person recording, I did in-person mixing, but I asked my clients to just trust me with it, and I'll send them a rough and then make your tweaks there. Because what I find happens, some people don't understand the process of mixing. So where their mind goes first typically is not where we go as engineers first. We got cleanup we got to do. And in my experience, a lot of artists would sit next to me, but like, hold on. What happened to this effect? What happened to that effect? Hold on, don't get it. Don't chill. What you were listening to while you were recording was just all little tricks so you could feel comfortable. Now it's my time to feel comfortable. Let me clean this up. Let me do that. I got some comping I got to do. So there's things I got to do before we even get into the sauce. So I really enjoy mixing solo because I don't like that interference. And like you said, I like to breathe through it. That's a good way of putting it. I didn't think about putting it that way, but I do like to breathe through it. For me, I say I like to live with it. I like to see what the emotion of this track is. Even if it's a turn up track, I still want to live in that space and see what it is that is being asked of me from the music. And most of the time I can't do that when an artist is sitting right there because they have their own misconceptions or preconceived notions of what needs to happen. Don't get it twisted. They are correct in wanting what they want, but you can get that after I've made my first assessment because most of the time, y'all, you got this other thing going on. But the husband insisted on sitting in every time, making changes every 2 minutes mid-process. See what I'm saying? That shit is annoying. Every 2 seconds, you're like, oh, what about? Okay, well, do you want to just man the helm? Am I just hands for you to guide? Or did you come to me for a reason? There's a reason why you came to me to do this, right? So you got to trust my process. You can't just dictate what my hands do because you don't know how to move the buttons. All right, I'm done rambling. Hey, yo, since I got you here, if you have a wild story, janky promoters, studio drama, anything that made you question who was the real problem, I want to hear about it. I'm building this Am I the Asshole music story series off of real stories from people like you. The link is in the description. It's anonymous and it's safe. I don't need your name. I just need the truth. And while you're here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the page so you don't miss the next one. All right. Let's get back to the chaos. Didn't matter how many years I've been doing this. Suddenly, I'm just a button pusher to him. I just said it. All right, we on the same page. I feel like you a cousin now. Let's keep going. Still, I delivered. But here's where it all hit the wall. I also agreed to shoot behind the scenes content. They hired a fitness influencer to help her get camera ready. We were supposed to film at a specific gym, but we got denied entry with professional gear. Their plan fell through, not mine. All right, so I've tried to do this before. I've tried to go into gyms with my camera. The issue there is it's kind of like to what people do with their cell phones. People don't want to be seen in the gym, so that's why they have such strict rules with cell phones. Now, with cell phones, they can't really restrict that too much because it's in your pocket. Sometimes that has your fitness trackers on there. They got your music on there, all that goodness. They don't want to limit that, but they do have rules on what you can film and how you can film and what you're supposed to do with it. When it comes to bringing in professional cameras, that will intimidate gym goers. Why are you bringing this professional camera in there? Because while you might be thinking, well, you're in the gym, you're in there to want to be seen, right? Yeah, well, some people are not veterans. Some people are not professional bodybuilders. Some people it's their first day in the gym. Some people it's their 20th attempt to try to lose weight. So bringing in a professional camera adds a level of intimidation and actually will deter somebody from coming back because, oh shoot, I'm not ready to be seen like that. It's already nerve-wracking enough to come into the gym. It's another level of nerves to think that you're about to end up in somebody's content. So I pivoted. We shot some footage outside the gym with my camera. Someone else filmed inside with a phone. I made the best of a bad situation they weren't even prepared for. Hey man, good on you. Good on you. You're taking your role very serious. You were offered a challenge, you were offered an obstacle, and you found a way around it. Now, for anybody listening, that's what you're supposed to do when obstacles are presented your way. You're supposed to find a way around it. Now, anybody else in your particular situation might have just said, I ain't doing this no more. But you decided to stick through it. You committed to the process. You committed to this job and you found a way to get it done. And the fact that you thought through this problem, even when they weren't ready to handle this type of situation, means they weren't even ready for your price point. I don't know what your price point was, but I'm sure they didn't pay you enough. 2 weeks later, they corner me. Wait a minute. Why? You made this thing work and they weren't ready for these obstacles, but you made it happen. Why did they corner you? Up there, let me get to it. 2 weeks later, they corner me, accuse me of just taking their money, say the footage wasn't good enough, completely ignoring the fact that the gym denied our setup, like I was supposed to sneak a red cam past security. Yeah, okay, so they expected you to bully your way in. The footage wasn't good enough. Did they forget that they weren't allowed in the gym with your camera? I mean, I don't know about you, but cell phones are pretty good. You can get some pretty decent shots from a cell phone, especially if you're using it right now. If the person that you were using to do the cell phone shots didn't really know how to hold it, then all right, that's kind of on you because it was your job to get the footage. But at the same time, if they were present to know that we couldn't get our professional grade camera work in, then what they tripping on? Just taking the money. I did deliver footage. Now, if you don't like the footage, that is a different discussion. I don't know why I'm sounding like the man Bill Cosby right now. At that point, I snapped. I looked at everything I had done. Recording and mixing garbage takes from someone who didn't care. Dealing with micromanaging from someone who had no clue how mixing works. Showing up, pivoting, and filming on the fly. Being disrespected after making them look competent. Whew. You see why I said you don't want to test the person that's in control of your content, be it studio work, be it live performances, be it somebody behind the camera, be it somebody who controls how inevitably you look. You start talking a little too greasy, that delete button still work and you ain't got nothing. At that point, give a damn if you paid me. My integrity still matters. And I've already broken my integrity a few times by letting you break my rules of sitting in my studio while I ask for solo mixing sessions. I applaud you for keeping your cool as much as you did, but that was the breaking point. I've already got my verdict in the case. I might be a little biased, but let's keep going. I cut ties. No warning, no goodbyes. I deleted everything from my system, all sessions, all footage, gone. I changed my number and disappeared from that entire circle. Hey, bro. That's another level of petty. Blocking the number. I mean, do what you gotta do. That is, woo. I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing. I cannot say I would not have done the same thing because, yeah, you can only take so much. I hope y'all are listening. Everybody, you artists out there that just expect things to happen as you want them to, you could lose all your stuff. I wonder how long they was working together because this sounds like a couple months. Ooh. Oh, this is ugly. So now I'm asking, am I the asshole for walking away and wiping the entire project after being used, disrespected, and blamed for their poor planning, even though I never gave them the final files? All right, so I think I'm ready to make my verdict. Unfortunately, while I agree with how you handle it, I agree with your feeling and your sentiments, I gotta say, you are the asshole. Here's why. In the service industry, which engineering, studio recording, videography work, while all of that is in service, it's high level service, but it is a service industry and you promise them a job. Now the stipulations of that job were a little murky, it sounds like. It sounds like you owed them a few things. Sounds like they required a few things of you that weren't necessarily talked about in the beginning. They overstepped a couple boundaries. all the same, you're an asshole for deleting and cutting ties and walking away. That is a firm decision you gotta make. And if you do that with the wrong person, I'm not even talking about the ugly side of the industry where they have retaliation and get back. I'm more so referring to your reputation. Because no matter what, money was exchanged, I'm assuming, and they were supposed to be given some goods. If they didn't get those goods, you're the asshole for that because they paid you. Now, if they enjoy it or not, this is why I said it's another conversation of if they enjoyed it or not. So it's like going to a restaurant, ordering a meal. If you don't like it, order something else, but you might still have to pay for the dish you ordered. You might still have to pay for that. Some restaurants will say, you know what? It's all right, we'll get you this one on the house. But not all places work like that. I would even say that most places probably won't work like that. In the service industry that we're in, if they don't like it, that is the risk they take. You hired me to do a job because I'm believing that you did all your homework, you saw my pedigree, you saw my catalog, my portfolio, and you knew what I can deliver. Now, if there's extra that I can't necessarily deliver on, let me outline that. I've never done that before, but let me see what I can work. If you don't like that, okay, well, hey, I already told you, that's not my strong suit. This is my strong suit. I don't know if that conversation was had. Yeah, you don't want to delete anything if you haven't delivered it. If you delivered it, then you could delete it afterwards. Like, hey, it's gone. It's out my hands. You got it. You got what you paid for. I don't want to deal with you no more. At that point, once the agreement has been reached, cut ties all you want. I ain't got nothing to do with you. But in terms of doing good business, this is where we say like emotions can't have nothing to do with it. You gotta leave your emotions on the other side. If they were dissatisfied with the service they got, they're entitled to that. How they handle their dissatisfaction is in question here, but you can't retaliate in that way in the service industry. And that sucks. That sucks because they want their shit to be respected. Everybody wants that. But some people are not respectful like that. You still got to be above reproach and deliver on the thing. So unfortunately, while I side with you as a fellow videographer, a fellow engineer, you are an asshole. You are an asshole. The most beautiful kind of asshole because you retained all the control. But for anybody else watching, I would be careful. If you're in a service industry such as this gentleman here, be careful because that can mess with your reputation in the long run. But that's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Tell me in the comments. Be nice, please. Hey, hold up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this Am I the Asshole story, please make sure you click the playlist on the screen. The rest of the stories go just as hard, and some of them a little bit harder than this one. I'm trying to give you these stories weekly and possibly faster, but I need y'all to keep watching. So click the playlist on the screen and stay tapped in. And hey, if you have a wild music story, don't hold back. Go ahead and click the link in the description and submit your Am I the Asshole moment. It could be your story I break down next. Tap in with me. You know I tap back. Peace.
Everything meticulous.